Good afternoon. Last weekend's demolition of Burton Albion was a statement by Argyle, and they'll want to make another one this afternoon when Ryan Lowe brings his Wigan side back here to home park. Argyle have scored 10 goals in their last 2 games, won 4 of their last 6 and have had a back-to-back away victory. The aim is to turn that into some good home form and keep climbing the table. So another blockbuster afternoon ahead, and all the action is coming your way live on Argyle TV. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live. I am Erin Black and you join us live here in the studio at Home Park. A decent run of form has seen Argyle fans get excited once more. Free scoring, exciting and in form. What could possibly go wrong? Well, in their way today is a Wigan side, a place above them, managed by none other than former Pilgrims boss and the hoodoo of not beating the Latics since 2004. There is plenty at stake this afternoon, and we'll have all of the team news and the build-up coming your way in the next 25 minutes to prepare for it. Your match passes, both audio and video streaming, can be bought over on our website, pafc.co.uk. We'll have all of the details on that for you. And joining me live in the studio for Matchday Live is former Argyle defender Mark Edworthy, who I've not had the company of in a few weeks.
It's been a while. It's been too long, Erin.
Where have you been? What have you been up to?
Busy, and I know you've been busy as well, and obviously busy with the house hunting, and that's happening for you, which we just discussed. So yeah, back to the real business, which is Saturday afternoon football, and delighted to be back with you.
Yes, no, happy to have you here. It's one of those, everything going on at home and here at work as well. Hopefully, everything starting to move in a bit more of a positive direction now. Aaron and I were talking earlier on breakfast. Tom Cleverley keeps mentioning the word consistency. He previously spoke about getting consistency, and now he's talking about maintaining it. And that is really key for Argyle at the minute, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think it was always difficult coming in the summer. He had to, get his foot in the door. New players tried to gel together. A lot of players coming and going, and it was a difficult start. But they were patient. He has a fantastic strategy. He's one of the hard-working managers, young managers in the game today. And hopefully we're seeing the rewards now. A fantastic result last week against Burton. I've been there myself, and it's a difficult place to go.
Yeah.
The Argyle fans certainly made the roof come off there last week, because I think capacity 6,000-7,000 there, and to go and demolish them really. And Burton are no mugs, as we know. They go and beat Cardiff midweek, so that shows the quality of the league.
Everyone kind of thought, oh well, you kind of have to beat them really, but as we've seen, that isn't always the case. What it looks like on paper isn't what happens out on the pitch.
No, certainly not. So that was a great away result, because getting rid of the hoodoo and all that stuff about we can't win away from home. Yes, we have done really well away from home, and I think that breeds confidence. Obviously, the cup game, there's six goals at home, so 10 goals in 2 games breeds massive confidence. And hopefully now it's going to be a different task. Ryan Lowe's coming back. We know he doesn't want to get beat this afternoon, so it's going to be another tough afternoon. It's
a little bit of added drama, isn't it, as well, when a familiar face comes back to Home Park on the opposition dugout.
Certainly is. It'll be interesting to see what the crowd's reaction is, seeing him back. Obviously he did do well here, but maybe left under sort of a bit of a cloud. So let's hope football does the talking. That's the most important thing. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think they've only won 1 out of their last sort of 6. A few draws in there, like 6 from 18. That's 6 from 18 points. That's not enough return for him. Whereas Argyle, like 12 points out of 18, are really on the front foot, and a win today will really push them forward.
Well, shall we take a look at who has been selected for your starting 11 this afternoon? For Argyle, starting first, we have Connor Hazard wearing the captain's armband, Matthias Ross, Brendan Wiradu, Brendan Galloway, Matty Sorinola, Malachi Boateng, Law McCabe, Barley Mumba, Tegan Finn, Owen Asani and Laurent Talai. And on the bench, Ashby Hammond, Patterson, Benarous, Roberts, Pepple, Dale and Campbell. One name, of course, that is missing from that we've kind of come to expect in recent games is Bradley Ibrahim. We know he is suspended after picking up a fair amount of yellow cards. But we'll touch on him a bit more in a minute. But looking at that there, Mark, how are you feeling about how Argyle have chosen their squad for today? Yeah,
just on the graphics, look, it looks well organised. It looks a good structure, which has obviously worked. And I think, he's a huge blow, missing him. Gives opportunity opportunities for other players, but what he's starting to do in midfield, he controls the midfield. He's got so much energy, and he's adding goals to his game. So to get 5 bookings already at the start of the season, I know he's tenacious, and I think that's just because of his age. Probably he's got to learn from that. But he will be a miss this afternoon. But it's just, as I said, Aaron, it's an opportunity for players to step in, and that's where the squad rotation helps. And that looks a really good side on paper, and hopefully they can go and deliver this afternoon.
Yeah, I think as the weeks have progressed and we've got to become more familiar with some of the newer players, I think personally for me, when the season started, it was like, these are so many new names and you didn't know what they were capable of. It feels like we're settling into a bit more of a rhythm now, and you can look at those names and pick some out and think, oh yeah, I'm quite interested to see. Yeah,
it's always very difficult. It's like me and Charlie on the first game, you know, they put the league table up on the first game of the season, and it does take time. And I remember when we were playing, you know, look at it in blocks of 10 after 10 games, let's see where we're at, and you progress. But unfortunately, you ain't got that opportunity. It's all about results, and we did have a difficult start, but all of a sudden now we're starting to play well. He's getting to know his formation, he's getting to know his players, and you find players out. Don't forget, when they start the season, players are not really firing on all cylinders. It takes a couple of games to really get molded in and understanding your roles and responsibilities. And he's starting to understand his probably his best 11.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to rotate with injuries and suspension, and Bradley's one of them today. But it's certainly, the signs are looking really good.
Yeah, Talai as well, player of the month for September. He's really picked up and come into form. There's a lot of pressure, I think, when you sign to a club as a striker, particularly a club that is lacking in that department, to make sure you deliver. And he's really picked up the pace in recent weeks, hasn't he?
Fully deserved that reward, and I think he's really tenacious, isn't he? He's hard work, in which the fans will love. Scores goals as well, and he's been a great signing. I remember seeing him playing at Port Vale, and to get him was a fantastic coup, really. So I think he's starting to now enjoy his football. Confidence is huge when you start scoring goals as a striker. Then hopefully you will go onwards and upwards and start, really hitting the back of the net on a regular occasion. Yeah,
we mentioned Ibrahim probably going to be a bit of a miss today, but there is, the depth in the squad that Cleverley needs. Do you think there's going to be a bit more reliance on Boateng, coming into this afternoon to counteract that?
Yeah, I think so. I think we see some clips here, and both of them have been excellent in there, haven't they? They've got that partnership, and when you get that midfield partnership, you get that understanding with each other. Both from scoring. And that's something they rely on. They know when one of them goes, everyone will sit, and vice versa. So it's all about communication, understanding. And he's going to be a blow, but missing him today. But you can't dwell on it too much. There's quality players that can step in. And I think that's an opportunity for them today.
Yeah, and we've got to mention as well, goalkeepers. Connor Hazard, this is his third game in a row, I believe, since coming back from injury. So I think we're now in a position where there's that competition between Hazard and Ashby Hammond, where they're going to want to be driving each other on to make sure who is ever getting the top pick. Yeah,
you've got to have that healthy relationship. Goalkeepers always strive to be the best, and they need each other to get that. And I think Connor, no disrespect to them, but I think him with his experience has been a huge lift for the club. Not only his stature, his experience as well, and he's certainly made a difference. But that's great competition for that number one spot.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can maintain a nice clean sheet this afternoon. That would be something else to look forward to. But of course, Wigan stand in our way of doing that. So let's have a little look at the squad we've got lined up from them. Sam Tickle, Stephen Sessegnon, Will Aimson, Jason Kerr, Luke Robinson, Matt Smith, Jensen Weir, Rafael Rodriguez, Ollie Cooper, Fraser Murray and Christian Sadie. And on their bench, Savin, Mullin, McManaman, Brennan, Asamoah, Hungbo and Rogers. Again, Mark, looking at that, there's a lot of familiar names. There's a lot of big names as well. I mean, Aaron and I spoke about Paul Mullin in the Wrexham kind of climb that he had with them. What do you think are the threats that Wigan are going to be bringing to Home Park today?
Well, across that, Murray and Cooper are going to be looking to get forward. Weir and Smith in midfield. They're well organised. I think the results has been difficult for them. Only winning 1 out of 6, as I said, and 6 points from 18 is not a good return for Ryan Lowe. And plus, his added spice today, isn't it? Coming back, to his former club, he will not want to get beat here. And plus, with the fans' reaction, be interesting to see what sort of reaction he does get. But they're going to be hard to beat. They always are. I think Argyle have got around their right to win the game. And I think with the confidence of the last week's away victory at Burton, and that 6-0 drumming. Okay, it was a cup game and there's a lot of youngsters, but you still got to score the goals. You still got to beat the opposition. I think the confidence in the Argyle squad is should be really high, and let's hope we can turn that away form into the home form as well.
Yeah, you'd like to think on home turf Argyle will be able to pull it out the bag. Haven't necessarily been able to do that last time round, but each week is different to the next. You've got Morgan Fox is out after his red card last week. Sessegnon and Aimson, of course, are former Argyle players as well. And Fraser Murray, as you mentioned, danger man. That's 4 goals and 1 assist so far. So while the goals haven't necessarily been flowing, he is certainly one to watch.
Yeah, they certainly are, and the clips here, they're no mugs in this league, Aaron. It's always very difficult anyway. You can only beat what's put out in front of you. It's irrelevant what's on the team sheet. Different personnel. You've got to earn the right to win games. If we back off them and we're not committed, then it's going to be a tough afternoon. So I think it's really with our confidence, take the game to Wigan. Really make it difficult to them. Very similar when I was at the Stockport game. When Stockport came here, they were really organised. I thought it was going to be a really tough game, and in time Argyle broke them down and fully deserved to win the game, but that took time to break them down. It was a windy afternoon. I think the wind's still swirling out there this afternoon, but on that occasion it worked for us, and hopefully we can back that up today.
Yeah, as someone that will have played in a variety of weather conditions, if the wind is as bad as it looks like it could be, how much of a factor is that on the game? What do you need to take into account as a player when you're battling against not only the opposition but also the elements? Yeah,
hugely. It's obviously the flight you see now. The long throws come back into the game, hasn't it? It's a real weapon. It's like a direct set play, and it's probably more accurate. So the throws, the crosses, your passing is judging the elements. And going back to that Stockport game, that's where the first goal came from. The defender misjudged it and scored that own goal. And I think it's going to be key. It was really swirling. I don't know I think it gives it an increase in the wind speed this afternoon. So it's going to be the case of sorting their passing out. Hopefully trying to keep it on the ground as well, because if it gets airborne, as we see from the flags, that's really windy, blustery around at home park. But the warm up, they'll know they'll be going through their routine in the warm up. They're passing, they're doing their drills, having a little bit of look around, and the players understand it. They've played in these sort of conditions before, and hopefully it will favour Argyle today. Yeah,
maybe we'll see an assist from the wind again or something like that this afternoon. Right, let's hear from the two camps now involved in this afternoon's game. Tom Cleverley first. He actually spent some time as a player on loan with Wigan back in 2010, and he's got some very fond memories of the club.
What sort of game do you expect from them? And we're neck and neck in the table. We've had a good run of form. They've lost their last 3. Does that what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I'd expect a reaction. He's a real leader. He's a proud guy, Ryan, and he'll be wanting a reaction from his team. So we have to be ready for that. And I'm desperately wanting some consistency from mine, and we'll be desperate for that. So. It'll be good. It'll be a competitive game of football for sure. There's some really good attacking players. Highly likely that 2 teams with maybe 4 strikers on the pitch, which is very unlikely. And so it's going to be an interesting game, especially with Ryan and his connection to the club coming back.
How excited are you about where we are at the minute, and certainly going into this game, but a run of games this month where we seem to be coming into it in nice form.
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel like we're in control of our destiny. If we hit the levels that we've shown recently, and we can control what we can control, I think we've got a high ceiling. Now we need a little bit of good fortune with injuries, with suspensions, with all the rest that comes with it. But I think what was a difficult start and a really massive transition, losing 20 players, new head coach, new technical director, now a new CEO, a huge transition for the football club. We're now starting to see some calmness and some consistency.
Well, not quite sentiment, but certainly respect for Wigan, Mark. And, you can't really stress how important getting another win today will be for him. He looks a bit more relaxed in the interviews.
Oh, definitely.
And it will be nice to see that pay off and the rewards keep coming.
Yeah, I think if you've been on the road and you've had a fantastic road, which they did last week, amazing result up at Burton, and then you go back at your home games, all of a sudden your season starts taking shape. You start climbing the table, you get yourself in a good position, the manager's happy, the players are happy, confidence starts flowing. That affects your training sessions, and that's winning games. It's just, it's great for confidence. And I think, he'll want to win today. Of course he will want to back that result up, because he knows what they're capable of doing. He's on about consistency, and getting that consistency is like about winning your home games and making like Home Park a bit of a fortress as well, which would be difficult. Don't forget, a lot of teams come here, no disrespect to the other. It's a fantastic setup here. The pitch is in great condition week in, week out. Just look at it then, and so it always makes it difficult. But that's the same as any game. You've got to earn the right to win the game. Just goes to show with the wind, but how that water's like flying around. But the pitch is in great condition, and he'll know the team prepared, and he'll definitely want to back it up with a win today.
And I don't think he will be on the touchline today, because of what we've seen in previous games. Does that make a problem for the team when, your head coach can't be there at the sidelines? Of course, he's got a great, the coaches around him will be able to fill in for him. But what is it like as a player when your manager, your head coach isn't there with you down on the pitch?
No, I think... all the preparation is done in the training, and obviously as a manager it's very difficult because discipline-wise, he's been sent to the stand and he's trying to keep his players in control. But he'll fully understand what that is. But he'll be with them in the dressing room, he'll be leading them out, and then obviously the coaches will be there in the bench. He'll be looking. You get a different view up in the stand as well, so obviously you'll be in contact with the bench to give any instructions or information to the players. So no, I don't think it affects it in any way.
No, okay. Well, that's good to hear, isn't it? More positivity coming in Argyle's direction. Ryan Lowe next. Ryan Lowe is someone that most Argyle fans know a lot about. He won promotion here back in 2020, and he was our manager for 2.5 years. He too has a lot of respect for the opposition, a lot of respect for us here at Argyle, but he does not want that to get in his side's way this afternoon.
It's a trip to your old stomping ground this weekend. I imagine it's a club you have a lot of gratitude for. You spent a lot of your early managerial career there and obviously won a promotion too.
Massive gratitude, massive respect for the owner and the fans. They're one of the best in the country. I think, as you see me watching the Burton game back, and basically 3/4 was Argyle fans. So yeah, massive respect for them, massive respect for the football club. They're disappointed where they are now in terms of going out the Championship. I think the work myself done, Stephen Schumacher done, and then obviously where it's at now, the latter part has been a bit disappointment, of course, because they had a plan to get in the Championship and sustain in the Championship club, which they got there for a little while, and then obviously it hasn't happened as such to stay there. Do I believe they'll get back there one day? 100%. They're a Championship outfit, they're a Championship club. But no, listen, I've got massive gratitude for them and massive respect. As I said, a lot of good people there who I still speak to, a lot of friends down there who I still speak to, but ultimately I want to take points off them this Saturday afternoon like they'll want to off us. So yeah, I'm sure there's mutual respect there, definitely, and it's a fantastic football club.
Plymouth at the weekend, they had an incredible result at Burton Albion, and after a difficult start they seem to really be finding form. What sort of challenge do you expect from Tom Cleverley's side? Tough
challenge. I've come up against Tom when he was manager of Watford and I was at Preston. He's got a good way of playing, got a good identity. Yet he did have not a good start for what they'd have wanted, but it seems though they've turned the corner a little bit. Hopefully after Saturday they can get back on a winning formula, because we're looking to go there to put on a performance and collect points, of course. But no, I think he's been a fantastic appointment, Tom. He's a young coach, up and coming, aspiring to get to the top. Had a good career in his day as a footballer, and I'm sure he'll have a fantastic career, and it'll be fantastic for Argyle down there, because that's what they need, a little bit of solidarity, a little bit of someone who's going to be loyal and take the club to the next level, and I'm a big believer that Tom and his staff and everyone associated with the club can do that after Saturday.
The dynamic is always interesting when you get a former manager coming back to a club that he was really successful at, back here in 2020 with that promotion. Of course, he's won both his previous opposition games as a manager here when he's visited before, so he'll be wanting to make it another one. But the onus is on Argyle to finally put a stop to that and stop him from winning, in the opposition dugout.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, speaks really highly of the football club. Obviously, enjoyed his time here and was really successful. Now he knows he's manager of Wigan. They're on a bit of a bad run at the moment, and he'll want to come here and win the game. Of course he will. That's what it is now. So he's done the talking. His team have got to be prepared, because if they don't prepare properly, he knows the form that Argyle are in, and obviously fully respects Tom Cleverley as a manager as well, and he'll want to come in and get 3 points for sure.
Yeah, they're on that bit of snag of form lately, which again makes another interesting dynamic, because either you look at that favourably and think, okay, well, they're not having the best runs, this is a prime opportunity for us to capitalise on that, versus not wanting to be the team that gets them, back on good form. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think that's where Tom's probably worked all week. Don't underestimate Wigan.
Yeah.
They need a result, and don't let it be us this afternoon. And I think that's key, just because they've only won 1 out of 6 and they've been leaking a few goals and they're struggling. They're a good side. They need to kick-start their season again and get going, and let's make sure it doesn't happen to us this afternoon.
So aside from the inevitabilities that will come out of the wind this afternoon in home park, what are you expecting the game to look like on the whole? Do you think Argyle are going to want to come out strong on the front foot, or you take it a little bit easy, assess the nature of what Wigan might be bringing to the table?
No, I think we've looked at Argyle at home. They really have started well, haven't they? I think you've got to start with confidence, and you've got to press really well, and that enthusiasm, that tempo is key in any game. Sometimes if you start slow, it's very hard to get it back, that momentum, to build up the momentum, win the game. And I think they've done that at home. Start fast, really push Wigan back and make a statement very early on. Don't allow them to settle and start playing around and getting used to facilities and the pitch. Make it difficult and hopefully go on and get the first goal. I think it's key when we do score first. We do look a bit different team. So many occasions this season we've had to come from behind, and that's difficult at any level. So get the first goal and then hopefully build on that with confidence and go on and win the game. Yeah,
it's so true. Argyle started the season with a mountain to climb by often conceding. So if we can score first, get everything underway, hopefully we'll be in a pretty good position. Mark, thank you.
Pleasure.
Mark and I will be back at half-time, hopefully with some Argyle goals to show you. For now, though, we are pretty much ready to hand over to your team over on comms. So a reminder, match passes, if you haven't got them, do go and grab them now over on the website pafc.co.uk. It is Charlie Price and Ian Stonebridge doing your commentary this afternoon. Argyle against Wigan to come, with Argyle looking for that first win in 22 years over the Latics.